Hi there. I'm always starting my videos with hi now. Hey there. How are you today? I need to come up with a new way of saying hello. Yo, what's up? I'm playing with MegaMagic pads. In a new library. This is in Reason 8.3. This library will be coming out for Reason, Serum, Omnisphere, Contact 5, and what am I forgetting? EXS24. There it is. Hi, my name is John Skippy Limcool. Hands together, head bowed. Very glad to have you with me. I am using the audio and the NNXT sampler in Reason at the moment. We're going to switch to Logic in a moment, but this is Reason's a good program. I like Reason. I like more an open world, so I'm still probably more of a Logic user, but Reason is a good program. And for a lot of people, it's a great place to work. And they need really big magic pads. So this library, and as you can see, I've made it a favorites, and I'm going to make a separate video for each of the libraries I'm going to support for this library, showing the tips and tricks. There's stuff that I have set up in here that I want to cover to show you how flexible. I've made it very flexible, so you can change it to be from filter to volume on the mod wheel really easily. All sorts of things. We'll do comparisons. If you go through the library of what is available for Reason, this is their string pads. Yeah. So that's their pad. This is mine. So it's an upgrade, let's say, in a nice way. So let me mute this over here. We're going to keep using the audio engine inside of Reason. I have a little reverb on my voice. It's got a gate. It's got a really cool dynamic channel here. You don't have to add anything else, and it's all there. So that's going to go away. I want to show you this. Check this out. Da-da-da! The artwork for MegaMagic pads. Got it done yesterday. So this is a library. I love this artwork. Check this out. So I licensed this photograph from a wonderful photographer, composite photographer by the name. Oh, wait, I put her logo back up there. Right here. Don't do that. Her name is Cindy Grunsten. And she did this composite. This is a whole bunch of photos that she put together to make it look like this. She didn't do this in the first place. They didn't have somebody sitting on pads for this. Oh, my logo's there. Let's make that go away. And then I colorized it to have a nice purple hue. I went through and I hand painted. Here you can see how strongly I painted it by doing like this. I hand painted them and then used the opacity in Photoshop to bring it down from 100% down to where I wanted it to be for the color. I added a lens flare from a really cool plugin from John Knoll from the Red Giant company. Love Knoll's Light Factory. This gives you the ability to add like mind-blowing lens flares to stuff. I even colored the tassels down here. See those little tassels? I colored them to be all nice and pretty. So that is the final, let's go like that. That's the final artwork for MegaMagic pads without the logo. Put the logo and stuff back on. So let's go. Logo, my logo. There. Final artwork. So it'll be coming out next week. And here it is inside of Logic. Let's go hide everybody else. This is, I want to show you a comparison. Now it's also coming out for Serum, and Serum can play a single sample. This is how it was found in Serum and in Omnisphere in the patch section, because the patch area of Omnisphere only allows you to load one sample. So this is Alien Landscape. Single sample. And when I started making this, I realized I wanted it to do more. And so I went to multi-mode and I used the stack feature to go over here and load up 6 different samples. Because now listen. Especially down here. Because it's got samples for the whole range, if I go just to patch mode, initialize the multi, and call it just the patch up here, that sample, I believe it's, let's take a look, we can find out. This is E3, so I think it's that one. As it goes up the keyboard, it gets brighter. So by the time it gets here, it's pretty bright. It's actually brighter than it was originally because it's sampling and transplanting it up. But when you go to the multi and you call it up here, it's not. So that's why I'm using multi-mode and 6 samples. Okay, so enough of that. This is fun. I'm going to give you guys some ideas and suggestions and tips on updating and using RMX in today's music productions, which it's really not set up for if you just have RMX and you haven't really explored outside of what it comes with. Still a great rhythm plugin, really great. Quickly before we get there, please come to my website, pluginguru.com. I have all sorts of products, all sorts of libraries, Kid Anthem, Airwave, it just goes on and on and on. I've had some people just recently grab a hold of MegaMagic drums and are freaking out because it's really, it's a killer library. There is so much to work with here on the current drum front. It's really inspiring. This and the one for Bright Tweaker, people are really happy with. Also come to the Plugin Guru page. We're talking Synth, just came out for 64-bit for the Mac. The artwork, other things. Seth Norman got married. Mr. Toxic Omnisphere and Mr. Mega Wave Serum and the Zebra library that we created. He worked on it with me. He's now a married man. So congratulations to Seth. So, okay, so we're here with Stylus RMX. Now, you have to realize when Stylus RMX was first introduced as Stylus, I think Skrillex was still in school somewhere. And all of these new styles of music that are happening, they were not available for RMX to use for their language for the rhythms. So there's a lot of hip hop and swingy stuff that kind of style has changed a lot. There's not a lot of that in music. It's pretty straight 4 on the floor. Even the dance poppy type stuff that you hear, it's kind of different. I won't judge it because that's not my place, but it is different. So how can we use Stylus RMX in a current way? How can we get new sounds into it? We need new sounds because the snares for dubstep and so forth didn't even exist at the time that RMX came out. The way that they're produced and overcompressed and snappy, and the 909's mangled in different ways. So there's some different suggestions and ideas. We're gonna do a quick back in time to the stuff that I support for RMX. And to start with, that's the Power Pack. And with the Power Pack, it came with a number of things. Let's go over here and let's choose from the core library something here. We're 120, let's say 125 beats per minute. Let's say like particles. Okay, here we go. Cool, busy, cool sound. The first place you can go is to Time Designer and just quantize to 1/8 notes. That right there gives you the 4 on the floor fodder to work with. You can go to SynthPrep. Now, a lot of this stuff I've covered in previous videos. There's 4 video series that I did on RMX that's already done and on the web on my channel. So make sure you find those. They cover in more detail what I'm going to show you here real quickly. So you've got your groove, you can mangle it, right? You could add the filter EG. All sorts of ways to change the sound, high pass filter at the same time. These are all tools that are inside of RMX. Now, if you want to take it farther, one place to look is with my power pack on the Time Designer. I gave you all these different presets, and these give you breath. So, and it kind of, you use big batches. That's because it's combining a whole bunch of notes onto that one note. So that one might not work for this one, but sparse. So it will take these grooves that really don't stop and give them spaces to work with. So the power pack is a great place to start. And I want to start here because this allows you to change anything. The loops that I'm going to show you how to get into the library, everything can be changed with these Time Designer presets. And you can make your own, drag it over the MIDI file window right here. And I show you that in those first 4 videos as well. So make sure you follow all that stuff. So that's one place. Another place, let's go over here and say multi-clear, is the RX library that I've created and I'm very proud of. First of all, in the expander libraries, make sure you go down and check out Metamorphosis. This one in particular hasn't been used a whole lot. And there's tons of really cool stuff here. Take that. 8th notes. And off you go. So make sure you look there. There's 2 libraries I did. Big Bad Beats is 15 years old. Did it about the time my daughter was born in 2000. And the whole shuffle thing was really happening then. Again, just go to the Time Designer. Grab 8th notes. You might want to put a little limiter on it since it's getting those big hits. Again, swingy, right? That's the thing back in the 90s. That's what we liked. So go to 8th notes. Go over here to sparse grooves. Off you go. So that's one place. Now there's Noisebox came out later, like 3 or 4 years later, and this has more techno. Some fun stuff to play with. So make sure you check out. These are part of the Ethereal library. There's also Stark Raving Beats. Ethno Techno is an Eric Persing produced library with Bashiri Johnson on crazy percussion stuff. Just doing really garbage cans. And the work that went into looping these so that they sound like this is, there's hours of stories we could tell you, okay? But that's not why we're here. We're here to look, yeah. So make sure you check these out. Make sure you check out the libraries that you have existing. You might not remember. There's so much here you can play with. Even if you're looking for something more straight, just remember you always go here to Quantize. The Logic quantizers are here. So if you want just a little bit of a swing instead of as much as it has, here's the 16th note and the 8th note swings. A is the least amount of swing and F being a lot of swing for these guys. So make sure you check those out. But now let's go to the next step. The next step is to go to user libraries. There's New Orleans Strut that you can buy on the Spectrasonics website, right? Beatropolis is a library I created, which has a whole lot of... And again, if you don't want the shuffle and stuff like that, just go to Logic Field, let's say for this one, and go to A. No more shuffle. And if you want to simplify it, then you actually simplify it further. Go to A, the 8. string a little bit if you want. Depends on what you're doing. But once again, or straight up to straight up eighth notes. Okay. Starting something. And breakdowns, you have all the elements. We're going to skip that speed racer. These are all fun to play with. Okay. But now, if you've gone and looked at any of the websites that sell loop libraries, a lot of them come in RX2 format. RX2 means that you can load them into Stylus RMX pretty easily. So we're going to look at adding new libraries of new sounds and new grooves to Stylus RMX. So beyond Beatropolis I brought out 4 years ago, probably 3-4 years ago. So even it doesn't have, per se, a lot of dubstep things in it, so forth, or current EDM as it's known. But there is a website that has a lot of this stuff available, and that is Sample Phonics. So if you go to their website, we're going to take a look in a minute at this library, and this is like $70 for this library, and it comes with a ton of one-shots, drum sounds, and all the loops are available in the RX2 format. So anytime you see the little recycle sign, yeah, maybe I'll show you what that all means in a minute. But I have a promo code with them, and I'm going to mention this a couple of times because I've never done this before where I have an affiliation with another company's website, but I believe in what they're doing. I think they have really good libraries. There's some really, really good source in everything that I found. I've bought 4 or 5 libraries from them, and then I contacted them and said, hey, I want to do a video and I want to tell it to you guys, and let's make it an affiliate so that they can keep track of the sales for my customers. So guys, be good customers, support them. The promo code is SampleGuru15. Use that at checkout and 20% of the price comes off. So if it's a $70 library, all of a sudden it's $55. So check them out. Check them out. It's really good stuff. So what does RX2 mean? See how it says RX2 format right here. What does that mean? That means here's the EDM destruction library. And what it means is it has the sampler instruments to support all these different plugin formats. NXT is Reason, Mark 5, Contact, Hellion, EXX24, Ableton. Has one-shots, which really are not helpful for our particular thing. The converter in a minute, it can't do anything with those, so it's going to actually delete them. Okay, so there's basses, there's drums, there's vocals, there's synths. Let me show you a drum first. Let's go loading up one. Okay, cool dubstep kind of groove. You can turn on preview. And what this does, what's really cool, is that not only does it take and give you timing divisions for each, I'm gonna turn off preview first so we can, it chops them into pieces, right? If you turn on preview, you can hear it adds a fade out tail to everything. Right? That's really cool. So, Recycle allows us to create loops, and they didn't even bring it up to maximum volume. I'm kind of surprised. They could have produced that to be a much bigger sound, but we can do that in post, I guess, right? So don't save. So Recycle is this program that allows you to chop up drum loops. And so if you want to do that and make your own, go buy Recycle from the Propeller Heads website. If you don't want to, then you just use these libraries that came this way. But let's get this prepared. I'm going to show you how to use the Sage converter. You have to make sure, let me show you this real quick because this is one of those things we should cover. When you're using the Sage converter, inside this folder you see the REX installer. That's the library from Propeller Heads that makes Recycle files work. And in order to convert them with the Sage converter, you have to install that as well. So make sure that you install these. By the way, the Sage converter comes when you download the latest update for Stylus RMX from the Spectrasonics website. So if you don't have the latest version of RMX, or even if you do, and you want to get the Sage converter, just download it and reinstall it, and it'll give you the Sage converter with the installer, everything you need to get this going. If you don't install that REX installer, then when you drag files over here to try to convert them, it's going to be a nightmare. We'll come to that in a minute. First thing you need to do is prepare the library. So the first thing I do with these is I want the SP at the beginning of the name, not the end, because that way it will group them inside of RMX. And this is prepared for the net, so there's no spaces on anything. And I don't need it to tell me that it's an REX or an SP library because I have that there. So it's going to be placed into the RMX library of Stylus in the right look by doing this stuff ahead of time. It's hard to do this after. Now, sampler instruments, I would also suggest going to this folder and Command D to duplicate it, because we're going to prepare this to go into RMX, which means it needs to be set up in a very specific way. And there's a couple of things we're going to need to change rather drastically, okay? So just make a duplicate of the library. So as you can see, I have a backup of the way it came in case I want to use it with other samplers, all that kind of stuff. Because the first thing I'm going to do, samplers, one-shots, terms and conditions, bye, you're out of here. Drums, bass, vocals, synths, click them, drag to the right, or whatever you need to do. You don't want them in the folder anymore. This is going to, I'm preparing how it's going to look inside of Stylus RMX. I don't want to go digging through multiple folders. The other thing you need to check out, there's a special couple of things. The names can't be more than I think 22 or 24 spaces. These all have SP in them. So I like to go through and use Better Find or Rename. And I'm just going to not remove text from end, but I just want to replace the SP with a space. And let's go SP. So it knows it's large caps. And actually with a dash at the beginning. So that way it keeps it with just a single dash. And we say perform the rename. So we're taking the SP out of the name of everything, because I don't need SP in the name of the loops personally, because it's in its own folder. I can do whatever I want to these since I've bought them, right? So I'm going to use Better Find and Rename, do this, it renames everything. This is one of these tools that I've used for so many years. It lets you rename anything, get rid of weird characters if you have programs that can't work with weird characters. The other thing that we cannot allow in this process is you cannot have more than 61 samples in a folder. And I happen to know the base has 80 samples. So we're going to go new, go base B, and go up here to the base and rename it base A. And control click to open in a new tab. And let's take the last 40, somewhere around 40. Let's see, glitch base 1. Let's take these guys and drag them over to the B folder. So now we have 42 in the A folder and we have 38 in the B folder. F sharps, those sharp names, stuff like that works just fine. That's not a problem. So this is how the library is going to now look in RMX. And I have gone ahead and made sure that I had the RX library installed and working properly, right? So now you take this folder. You cannot use the import rex file and like load it by directory. That support is gone. It doesn't work that way. What you do is you take your folder. Now, if I wanted, I could take each of these folders one at a time, but I need to give it a bigger name, specific, and it would show up in a different one tab where it puts them all together. But because it's multiple folders inside of a master folder, it's going to make it its own library in the directory list. So by clicking this and putting it over install REX and letting go, it's going through and converting we'll just stay right here while it does it. Doesn't take that long. Some libraries will take longer if they're bigger libraries. Okay, so it's done. So since I've added a new library to RMX, I need to go to RMX and I need to quit. Don't save. So I quit RMX and I've double clicked RMX Love so that it will start up. And it will now, by doing this startup, RMX refreshes its directory, takes a look, goes, oh, I have a new library. Cool. So when we get to RMX and we go to here and we go to the library folder, we now have EDM destruction. And now you see this bass A, bass B, drums and synth. That's because I set them up that way before I converted it. So you want to make sure you set it up. Get rid of the SP so it looks nicer in your directory. You don't need to see an SP at the end of every file. It also helps with the sample names in case they do get really big. That's one way to shorten them. And if we go to drums, go to here, add a compressor. Let's see. Maybe a cool EQ to get a little more. So we have new sounds. And not only for the groove, but also remember. Let's go over here to the amp, bring up the release. And now you have drum sounds you can just play. So you could sequence. And remember, if you want to go over here and turn on the ability to add slices to a group, play one thing, say play first a MIDI note. I have a new group for the kicks. So take each of the kicks. And that one should have had more slice pieces. And I'm clicking add each time I hear a kick. So now, all these kicks, I can go to the pitch, and they'll follow. Oh wait, oh that's right. I had a whole lot of stuff going on this. So let's do this. Let's say, copy this part, copy. I need to go multi-clear, part paste. And it should be. So this one group, edit group, is the kick drums. So I could take them down a lower in pitch. Okay. And instead of playing the groove here, I could go in and sequence. And the cool thing with this is that every one of these grooves is a drum kit. Everyone has. Okay, let's go to the effects. Let's do this. I think we can copy this effect rack. Go to the main group, paste the effect rack. Okay. So every group has, every one of these is a different drum kit. Okay, so that's one library. Let me show you some other libraries and give you some other ideas, because it's not just drums. Synth. And if the timing's out, I'm going to show you a really cool thing. So let's go over here to 2. Let's go to user libraries. Go, man. So that's a fairly long groove, right? Go to drums. I wish those drums would have been produced bigger. They really are. Okay, so the timing's not bad, but if you wanted to, go to Groove Lock, hit 16th notes for each of these. Now it's tight. Okay. Okay, so you have all this. And even the synth stuff. So let's go over here. Let's say we're using Ultra Beat, and we have this for a modern drum kit set. And we have let's go over here to the kits. Let's choose one of the, right? So let's sequence really quickly, a little 4 measure groove. So So we got that happening. Quantize it. Then go over here to RMX. Do a okay, so you've got this cool little blippy thing, and then go around to the parameters and maybe take it a higher pitch. Shorten it. That could just be one part, right? Now, if I want to have multiple things playing from RMX, so you go up here, set this to be MIDI channel 1, and then whatever your sequencer command is to, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I have 2. So I could go over here and drag this MIDI file over here. And I need to double the time, so I hold on Option, double time it, and loop it. And then let's go to Quantize, the 8th notes. Okay, you can do all sorts of things with these new sounds. And they keep going even to crazier other places. Let's go to part 3, and let's go to user libraries, and let's go to a library they have that I love called Ethereal Guitarscapes. Oh my goodness, guys, this is crazy. These are... So let's just drag it over and watch what we can do with this. So let's say... And the timing's off, right? So let's say 16th notes. So right there is the start of a song. You know, go at a bass. The inspiration from these are, listen to these. I mean, so grab that, quantize it to 16th notes just to make sure it fits the tightness that we have to have in today's productions. And there's so much here to play with. So let's drag it over, try it out, let's quantize it to be. This is longer, so and like the synth part 1, it's the wrong pitch right now, so I need to go to edit. There. Go to effects. This. Just do that. And let's go to part 2, which is empty. Let's go looking through another library. There's all these libraries I have. New Wave EDM. Let's go to the drums. Let's put that in there just for fun. So just drag it over to the production. Go to part 4. Let's go to Beatropolis right here. I have some basses and stuff. If you go chop synth, this is a secret area because there's all these different kind of cool chords. Let's go to this guy. I love this this one. It's got a nice round tone. Now I gotta tune it. Go to part 5. See what you can do. This is how you get new sounds, is these RX2 libraries. That's the RMX love I want to show to you guys. Let's go to EDM Destruction. Actually, let's go to another library, like Deviant Acoustics. This is cool because it's all sorts of organic or programmed beats and cool, crazy stuff. Let's put that in there. See? Go to effects, put a delay on it. Maybe hear some of the low end by hi-hats filtering. So we've added, this is all Stylus RMX. So there's an awful lot you can play with and explore, and you have all these tools to mangle and separate and pull them apart in really cool ways. So the RMX love is RX2 files. You can make your own using Recycle. So you can get RX2 libraries, you can buy them. Make sure you go to samplephonics.com. Remember the promo code SampleGuru15 will save you 20% off everything on their website. So they got a whole bunch of stuff to look at. So I hope this helps and inspires you to get RMX back into your mixes, to use it as a rhythmic fodder place for more than just drums. You can get it for guitars, for all sorts of instruments. I mean, the libraries that they have are just huge. So there you go. Hope this helps. See you next week with a new video.